Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1974 Winter Baseball Classic Tournament. We are in the final matchup in the losers bracket, at which point a fourth team would be eliminated, leaving 12 teams remaining to advance to the round of 3 or be on a bye. I guess I can look at that real quick at the beginning here. The overall bracket here. We've done all of this except for this. We got to put the final piece of the puzzle in, and once we have the one-loss record, then I'll go in and I'll put together a seeding, how to seed the 8 teams who have advanced from this round, and also the teams corresponding who have byes. But before we do that, let's take a look at what's happened. Series opens up in South Carolina. Mel Stottlemyre on waivers, shockingly, versus Mickey Lolich. Not so shocking as Stottlemyre gets rocked around in this one, and it's not even close. He's 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 hits, a run, 2 hits. Left him in there to pitch 6 innings, get some work in. 13 hits, 6 runs allowed. Meanwhile, Mickey Lolich looks like he's in Tiger form. RBI triple by Chris Spire notwithstanding. It's a 7-3 finish for South Carolina. Game 2. These are a best-of-5 series, so you need a road win here for St. Pete. Jerry Koosman versus lefty Steve Carlton. Koosman's card is up for the Mets. Which year will they take? 74, 5, 6, or 7? This is a nice-looking card. Carlton, if you may have seen earlier in our series, got knocked around in his first start. He's got a very mediocre 74 card. Well, rinse repeat, folks. This South Carolina team is making quick work of St. Pete. First inning, walk, stolen base, double, George Scott, 2-run homer, Greg Nettles, solo shot, John Milner, solo shot, RBI single, Vic Harris. This is 6-0, 6-1. It's a 6-1 final. By the way, any debate about Steve Carlton losing it, forget it. 7 innings, 4 hits. Disappointing starts for Mel Stottlemyre, Jerry Koosman. 2 New York legends. Yeah, not looking good. So we're here already into a Game 3 elimination where South Carolina can get a road sweep in a Game 3. And so we'll have this today. And any more games, we'll have a review of the break and breaking the bracket down. And we'll show you all 20 cards of the team that does get eliminated. Today's pitching matchup, South Carolina will send Tom Griffin out there. He is also on waivers. But he's pretty good. 14-10, 3.54 ERA, and 211 innings. It's really strange. One team has Stottlemyre. The other team has Tom Griffin. These are kind of the top 2 pitchers on the waiver list. Though we saw our boy Stottlemyre get lit up, hopefully Griffin can pitch better. And for St. Petersburg, it's Jim Colburn. He's a Milwaukee Brewer keeper. All 4 years in the timeline, I believe he pitches on 3 days rest. In 74, he's 10-13 with a 4.06 ERA. From sunny St. Petersburg, Florida, gorgeous day in late February, early March here, whenever this thing gets uploaded. You know, visited the Dali Museum today, saw the hallucinogenic toreador and the soft watches and all that stuff they have down there. Wonderful stuff. Leading off for the visitors, it is John Milner. 5-12 flies left. Dale Unser, 1-7. Homer, 1-12. It's a 2-base hit. George Scott, 5-4, center X. Your center fielder is Joe Lovito, who is a something. He's a 3-11 in center field. He makes the grab. Nice catch there, Joe. And Greg Nettles, 3-7, is a strikeout. Bottom of the first. It's Ken Singleton. 3-7 is a walk. Jerry Terrell, 4-12, left. Manny Mota flies to left. And with 2 outs, it's Mike Hegan, 6-10. Uh-oh, off a Griffin. Homer 1-2 double. 2-base hit. Singleton loping around. He's a 12 runner. 13-14 against the Unser arm. He play at the plate, and he's safe. Scoring from first on a double. Larry Heisel. 2-5, triple 1-3. That's another double. And Chris Spire, 3-11, flies all right. Well, back-to-back doubles will give you a 2-0 lead. Top of the second, it's Easy Ed Herman, 3-7, base hit. Henry Aaron, 110, third. Henry batting 6, because pretty much has his last good card in 74. So he'll have to transition probably out the cleanup spot in a hot Atlanta, you'd think. Bernardo Carbo. Yes, Bernardo. Not Bernie. It's his brother, Bernardo. Yeah. Don't know why they did that, but they did that. They put that on his card. It's like picking 81. Rich Gossage, they suddenly started putting Goose Gossage on his card. Like, we know his nickname's Goose. You don't have to write it on the card. Dude's name is still Rich Gossage, for Pete's sakes. All right. Bottom of 2, it's Bob Stinson. Short X. Your shortstop is Bobby Valentine, a 4-44. That's a base hit. Joe Lovito, 3-6 is a walk. It must be the home cookie in this series. Ron Santo, 64. Fly ball to right field. Back up top to Singleton. 1-3 is a 3-6-3 double play. Top of the third. Bobby Valentine, 2-9, triple 1-12 is a 3-base hit. He had just 3 of them in 371 at-bats, so that's a nice roll. All against righties, apparently, yeah. Chicken Stanley, 64, center sacrifice fly, and it's 2-1. John Milner, traded from the Mets in the offseason to the Padres, 56, lines a second. And Del Unser back to the Washington Senator Texas Ranger franchise. 6-10 off of Colburn. It's gone. And we got a 2-2 tie. George Scott, 1-3. Flies right. All right. Bottom of the third. It's Jerry Terrell. 6-10 is that homer roll. He doesn't have any power. So it's a 2-base hit. Manny Mota, 6-12. A roller to first. Runner goes to third. They're going to bring the infield up. Mike Egan, 45. Short X with the infield up. It's should be Spire. No, Valentine again. 4-44 at shortstop. And that's your error. And that'll get you another run. And St. Pete retakes a lead. 3-2. Runner at first. 1 out. Larry Heisel. 2-10 hit by the pitch. Chris Spire, 48, flies to left. And with 2 outs, it's Bob Stinson. 2-12, Bob Stinson. That is gone. The 2-12 card, and that's his home run in 1974. In 87 at-bats. He had 1, and you just saw it. And that is murder. That is a 2-out, 3-run, unearned home run. The 4th unearned run in the inning, and my goodness, the home team in this series. Yeah. Whoever's playing at home seems to make these games one-sided. Joe Lovito, 64. Center X. Unser's a really good center fielder. He's a 2-8, and he makes the catch. Into the 4th. It's Greg Nettles, 46, walks. Ed Herman, 67, flies right. What making this thing convenient for me is that both pitchers have the exact same template, the 6-10 card. So if you see 6-10s, expect some excitement. We've seen it happen a few times so far. Henry Aaron, 64, center. And Bernardo Bernie Carbo, 2-2, a roller to the mound. Bottom of the 4th, it's Ron Santo, 2-2, hit by the pitch. Back up top to Kenny Singleton, 5-10, third X, third baseman Greg Nettles, 3. Actually, one of the lowest, worst E ratings, fielding ratings for him. He's normally a 2 or a 1. He's a 3 E22 in 74, so I would stay away from that card, and that's why it's a single. On the corners for Jerry Terrell. 59 lines of third. We're going to bring the infield up for Manny Mota. 251111. That's a single dot, and here we go again, folks. We just all the pitchers we want to see something out of are doing nothing in this series. We wanted to see something out of Strat-O-Matic. Want to see something out of Kuzman? Nope. Want to see something out of Griffin? You know, they're all pitching like doo-doo, and they're not learning much other than buyer beware in the draft. Maybe that's why they're on waivers. I mean, it's not like Stoudemire has much left in his career anyway. And Tom Griffin's a journeyman relief starter for Houston and the Giants in his career anyway. So these aren't like diamonds in the rough by any stretch. Okay. Mike Hegan's the batter. 67, second X, the infield up. We got Chicken Sailing's a 3E10. Makes the play. Runners move up from first to second. And Larry Heisel, 311, flies to center field. It is 7-2. Top of the fifth inning. Bobby Valentine. 1-6 base hit. B-stealing Valentine. Yeah, down 5. Yeah, whatever. Just, yeah. Fred Stanley, 59. Pops a short. Yeah, okay. John Milner, 1-6. And there's your double play for not stealing. 3-6-3 double play. Oh, what a lackluster series this is in the deep south, the sunny south. We do have the nice, pretty weather, making this interesting. But otherwise, let's go to the bottom of the fifth. Pause for a station message. A word from our sponsors.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Take in a Rays game. I mean, couldn't the Rays just have spring training and play their season right there in the Ray Dome, whatever it's called, the Ray Dome, the Hurricane Dome, something like that? Anyway. Crispier, crunchier, great taste, less filling, 57. Single 108, he lines out. Bob Stinson, he of the homer, and rounds the third. And Joe Levito, 2-4, roller to the mound. And that is a 3 up and 3 down inning for Tom Griffin, for what it's worth. We go to the sixth. Dell Unser, 1-9, double 108, base hit. He's been on 3 times. Looking really good for Dell, middle of 70s. George Scott, 2-8, base hit, ... Here come your Merrimacs. That's what they call themselves, playing out of Charleston and the Dalis of St. Pete. You got 2 men on, down 5. It's Greg Nettles. Colburn's a starter 7. No danger of breaking here. The pitch to Greg Nettles. 48 is a sac fly to center field. There you go. Ed Herman, 410. Catcher's X. Stinson's a 4E1. How about that, folks? Pass ball. E1 catcher. Runner at second, 2 outs for, Henry Aaron. And he grounds to short. Bottom of the sixth. 7-3 within a grand slam. Ron Santo, 58, pops to first. Kenny Singleton, 59, pops to third. And with 2 outs, it's Jerry Terrell. A roller is short. We'll go to the seventh. Bernardo Carbo, 2-7 is a K. Bobby Valentine, 46, second X. Your second baseman is Terrell, 3E30. He makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Chicken Stanley. 111, a grounder to short. All right. Bottom of the 7th inning. Stretch time here in St. Pete. And we are enjoying this wonderful LP. It's the Windbreakers. Bobby Sutliff, Tim Lee are the principals here. From the mid-'80s. This is a reissue in 03. Time Machine is what they call this. It's about 1 hour and 9 minutes. It's probably an LP, an EP, and some singles, all kind of threaded in here for us. On DB Records, one of those southern labels, you know, the Let's Active, Bodines, that kind of flavor. Don Dixon, Marty Jones era, you know, all that kind of stuff. 10,000 Maniacs. They kind of fit nicely into that genre, as it were. All right, bottom of the 7th. Tom Griffin, I've seen enough. You know, we gotta, just go away. We're gonna need somebody else in here. We're gonna go with Fred Bean in the 7th inning. Fred had a sparkling ERA for the Yankees a few years ago. Now he's with Cleveland in 74, and he's got a 4.66 ERA. Trying to get a couple innings in. It'll be Manny Mota. 1-6, grounds are short. Mike Hegan, 2-7, is a K. And Larry Heisel, 1-8, is a K. We'll go to the 8th inning. Seen enough out of Colburn too. It's spring training. We kind of need to see guys, and we don't really need complete games and that sort of thing. Lou Krause. Lou used to be in this league a while ago, and then he's missed a few years. Well, he's back in 74 with 67 innings and a 4.16 ERA for your Hotlanta Braves. He'll come on in the 8th inning, and he'll face John Milner with a 4-run lead. 54, Lions the 3rd. Del Unser, 58, short X. The shortstop is Spire, 225, makes the play. George Scott, 59, grounds to second base. Bottom of the 8th, Bean will continue. Chris Spire. 410, center X, your center fielder. Del Unser, 288, makes the play. Bob Stinson, 311, strikeout, plus an injury. Buck Martinez will have to finish up for him in the 9th inning, catching. Joe Levito, 611, first X. George Scott's a 1E13, always was a fantastic defensive first baseman. And there we go. 7-3 in the 9th. We'll take Krause out. We're going to have Bob Reynolds finish this thing. Interesting story of Bob Reynolds. Hit a lightning 1973 for Baltimore with a .190 ERA. Still with them in 74. They have traded him. Well, he was traded to the Expos, and then the Expos traded him to the California Angels, where he can be part of a two-headed closer with Dave LaRoche with the Angels. Still got a 2.74 ERA in 69 innings. Has good control for a closer. Just 14 walks in 69 innings. And he will come on in the 9th inning here. 4-run lead. It's Greg Nettles. 57, single one to 14. He lines out on a 17. Ed Herman, 58, strikes out. And Hank Aaron, 2-4. Pops to short. Well, there's that. That's a quick game. Home team held on, and as per norm in this series, Jim Colburn defeats Tom Griffin 7-3. So we'll take a break, and then we'll give you the results of the series. Game 4 would also be in St. Pete. It'd be Stan Bonson for the home team against Lolich coming back on a short break. And then if it goes to Game 5, it'll be Steve Carlton versus Jerry Kuzman for a second time in the series. So some classic matchups pending in this series, so stick around for that. All right, folks, here's the box score of the game you just saw. Game 3 victory for the home team, St. Petersburg. First win of the series. Colburn with a win, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs allowed, a walk and 2 Ks. Bob Reynolds gets a save of the 9th. A lousy start for Tom Griffin. 6 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, but just 3 are earned because of the error there. But it is a 7-3 victory for St. Pete. So this series will continue for a little bit here now, folks. St. Petersburg starts a rally. Mickey Lolich versus Stan Bonson. Bonson's 74 card is pretty bad, but that's okay because Bonson is in the league with a 76 card, so we don't really need to review this one. It actually played pretty well. And look at the score. It's the exact same score, 7-3. They get to Mickey Lolich early. You get a Larry Heisel homer, RBI double, Buck Martinez. And then you get a 3-run homer by Harmon Killebrew, making a late bid to latch on and keep his Hall of Fame career going. He didn't make the league a year ago. I don't expect him to make it this year, even as a platoon DH. Couple reasons. Reason one, Tony Oliva is the full-time DH in Minnesota, so that makes Killebrew irrelevant as a DH. And there's just not a lot of teams looking for, a guy who can just swing versus left-handed pitching and not that well and not do anything else, really, at this point of his career. But it is a victory for Bonson, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs allowed. Lolich was not very good. Good news for Tigers. They have a futures card for Lolich in the league as well. So Lolich and Bonson really weren't playing for evaluation in this. Series tied 2 games to piece. Going back to Charleston, South Carolina for Game 5, does the home team win all 5 games? The answer is yes. Steve Carlton and Jerry Koosman, Part 2, they might be hooking up in the Summer League for the Phillies and Mets. In this one, another rough start for Koosman. A triple by Tommy Harper, a RBI ground out Carbo. After 2 outs in the second inning, a single, and then Koosman is an E22. He kicks the ball. A base hit off of Jerry Terrell. Koosman kicks another ball and a single. It's 3-zip. Carlton pitching beyond his card, really. He's got a pretty mediocre 74 card. Gives up an RBI single to Killebrew again in the 4th. Killebrew in this game went 3 for 3 plus a walk, so that makes him 5 for 7. If this is the last time we see Harmon Killebrew, what a way to go out. But he at least has put his name out there to say, hey, you want a Hall of Famer in your league? Even if he's not that good. I don't like to play Hall of Fame cards if they're not good in the league. Drag their stats down. But both pitchers throw complete games. In a loss, Koosman 8 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, only 1 was earned. A walk and 8 strikeouts. Carlton also a walk and 8 strikeouts with 9 hits and a couple runs allowed. A 3-2 win. South Carolina, with home field advantage, wins 3 games to 2. So with that, we can go to the bracket next and put in the results. Let's go to the pitching rotations first. We know St. Pete is done. They were knocked out of the tournament. We put that there. And we know that Steve Carlton and company will continue. Joe Coleman will start the first game in the best of 3. Tom Griffin, then I'll go back to Steve Carlson again. So that's pretty simple. The overall schedule, South Carolina wins 3-2, which means you have a 5-6 team, which is South Carolina, and St. Pete goes 4-7. So when you look at just checking the numbers, -3, -1, 1, and 3 over 500. So, next question. Now that we've completed the opening round and the winners and losers bracket, how do you see the rest of the tournament? You got 4 teams with byes, which means they've won 7 games over 2 series. Missoula, with the best record, is the number 1 seed. Then Memphis, number 2. Athens, number 3. And Rhode Island, number 4. What we're trying to do is making sure that teams in the same region don't play the same opponent in the following round. So what we do is, in the same bracket right here, we take the number 9, subtract it from the seed, and say this team can't be the number 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. This team can't be the number 6 seed. 9 minus 2 is 7, not 7. 9 minus 1 is 8. Very even records collectively. You've got 4-4, a game over, a game under a couple times, but basically everything looks like a best of 3 series moving forward. Seattle has the worst record. They can't be an 8. So they have to be a 7, which means Tucson goes from a 7 to an 8. And trying to break the tie between these 6 and 5 clubs, well, again, it's pretty simple. This team can't be a 5, so they have to be a 6, and this team can't be a 6, so they're a 5. So that's all pretty straightforward how the seeding was done, with literally a half game separating the 4 teams. You do the same thing for teams 9 through 12. You take 17 minus the seeding 6 here, and say this team can't be an 11. 17 minus 5 is 12. This team can't be the 12. 17 minus 8 is 9. They can't be a 9. And this team can't be a 10. These teams in the middle have the worst records. 5 and 6, 5 and 6. This team can't be a 12. So this team has to be the 12. This team will be the 11. And then the other two teams at 500 are 9 and 10. This team can't be a 10, so they're a 9, and they're the 10. And now everybody has, all the ties have been broken, and we don't have repeat matchups in the following round. So with that, we just drag everything down here with the record. All this information here. Halifax 6 and 5, number 6 seed. And they will face, this adds up to 17, the 11th seeded team, which is South Carolina with a record of 5 and 6. This team, Savannah, a number 5 seed with a record of 6 and 5, plays the number 12 Mississippi squad with a record of 5 and 6. Here, Tucson, a number 8 seed, will face the number 9 seed, Mexico, who's 4 and 4. And over here, Seattle, a 7 seed, will face the number 10 seed, these guys over here, Coney Island. Next up, we look at the collective records in a best of 3 and decide if 3 games will be enough. And globally, it is. It's a quick look. No one is beyond a game apart from each other. Half game apart, half game apart, half game apart, tied. Which means that all you need is a best of 3 series to determine the result. And then once these are the matchups right here. You've got a team from the Sun Belt versus a team from the East, the North. You got a team from the Gulfport versus a team from the Sun Belt. You got a team out west versus a team in the Gulfport, and you got a team from the East facing a team in the West. So you see we've diversified the matchups in this round accordingly. So with that, we'll take another pause, and we'll get to looking at St. Petersburg, the team that got eliminated. We'll take a look at their roster. So stay tuned. All right, these are the St. Petersburg players. Beginning with Mike Hegan, who's on Arizona Diamondbacks. As a good defensive left-handed hitting first baseman, his performance is pretty even through the 4 years. I like the homers and walks on this card. This can make a play in the league. Moto's card is up, but they're going to go with a hideous 1977 pinch hitting card, not this one. Bill Robinson has a nice year in 76, I believe. This is kind of another down year and a very up and down career, just 236. Singleton had a fantastic 73, but in 74, with the Expos, you could see why they might have soured on him and he got the trade to Baltimore. So this is not a great card for Stinson after the great 73 card. He did roll that 212 homer in the series. 77, I think he's on the Mariners, and that's a card they'll take. Now, Kuzman lost a couple games in the series, but the card should play well otherwise. You mentioned he's an E22 pitcher, for what that's worth. Lefty better against lefties. And a winning record for a Mets team where he didn't give him a lot of support, and he had a losing record one of those years. Milwaukee still has Colburn's rights, and I think he pitches over 200 innings in all the years. Probably not this card. And this is the last viable Bob Reynolds card that'll be in the league. You see, a weird closer who doesn't give up walks, but he strikes out guys but gives up singles. Look at all the singles he gives up. It's weird. And he gives up the long ball, but it's just to lefties, not to righties. So he's really not a good closer. He's more of like a setup guy to Dave LaRoche in the California bullpen. All right, now we got some wavered players. Ron Santo did very little in this series. He is a 2 third baseman. As a utility, he's a utility player at third base with power because he can play all these spots, but you don't want him to start if he makes the league at all, 221 average. Jerry Terrell does kind of the same thing as a 3 second baseman, but he's a switch hitter. Hits slightly better. He's got a better card in one of the next years. I think he hits a 286. Here's a drastic come down for Ron Bryant. 24-game winner in 73. Overachieving with a 3.50 ERA to get 24 wins. So the baseball gods, well, they rally and balance it all out. 24-8, he goes 3-15. Add it all together, divide it in half, and he's 14-11 over 2 years. That's probably the ability level there. Very puzzling Mel Stottlemyre card that didn't pitch very well. He's a starter 8 for Pete's sakes. He just only threw 113 innings, so he's not on the rotation. He'll be in the league. It's a question of who jumps on him. And frankly, it's an okay card. It's nothing amazing about it. 358's a little on the opportunistic side. But, yeah. Now we have guys who are undrafted free agents or been out of the league. And here is the Killebrew card. Wasn't in the league a year ago. It could be a DH versus lefties. It's just not that great. And I don't know. Plus, I don't like to see him on a weird team. If it's not the Twins or maybe the Senators, which is the Texas Rangers, maybe he can go to the Rangers and replace Frank Howard for a year. I don't know. But otherwise, I'd rather see him retire. Switch hitting center fielder with a -1 arm, but not much else. No power. Nothing much on the top line there. Buck Martinez is probably the first card in the timeline. A plus arm, which is not good. He normally has a cannon for an arm. -2 arm most years. Draws walks versus lefties, if necessary, in a platoon. And then Lou Krause used to be in the league, but 2 or 3 years ago, making a comeback with this card. It's not that bad a card. On the right side, it's pretty decent. Gives up extra base hits and walks to lefties. Just a guy, but probably of all the Jags in the league, he's in the top half of the Jags in the league. Just a guy. And then the last crew here, these are guys who don't need an evaluation because they're playing with a futures card. So Heisel's got, I think, a 75 or 76 card in the league with the Twins. Chris Spire has a 75 card with the Giants. Stan Bonson's got a 76 card with the White Sox. And Jim Todd's got a really nice card in 75 for Oakland. So these particular 4 players don't need any evaluation. And that'll do it for St. Pete. When we get together next time, we'll be in the round of 3 of the Winter Baseball Classic. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you then.